Hello there guys, and of course it's time to welcome yourselves back in for yet another one with us both, Review Bros, Aaron,
Craig.
And today what have we got for him?
We've got Kingslayer pre-workout by the guys over at Pure Labs.
We've got them to thank for sending it on down. It promises to be a hyped pre-workout. It might even be a Stim Junkie pre-workout as we break it down into the usual elements.
Taste, price, label, effects, all come at you. It could just be your next Stim Junkie pre.
And all we ask in return is, of course, a thumbs up, your subscription to the channel, and any comments you have down below.
And we're in to taste the mixability, and the flavour we've got for this review is none other than Summer Solstice flavour, which sounds very medieval, doesn't it?
It does. Hopefully we've got some very nice juicy fruities in there. And the other flavour it comes available on the website is Frozen Blue Ice. Imagine that's like a slush flavour.
Gotta be.
Mixability isn't the best, we're honest here. There's some bits of black pepper floating at the top, or what I presume to be black pepper.
Kingslayer or Kingslay no?
Different. I mean, it's nice. Peach, mainly peach, I'd say.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
Bit of orange on the back end. It's just quite a tart peach.
Yeah, it is.
More like peach rings.
Yeah, it is.
I'd say it's more like peach rings than Summer Solstice.
It tastes like you're drinking the leftover, when you have a can of peaches, like the leftover juices.
Yeah. Is it one you'd add to history, though? Let's give it a score out of 10.
Go on then.
3, 2, 1, 7.5.
Oh, okay. Around the same realm.
Not a bad one. Okay guys, we are now of course into the money segment. And are you going to be a peasant and be able to afford this? Or do you need all of the king's riches? Well, tell them.
I'll tell you. Well, you head over to pro-hormones.co.uk where you can use our discount code RB10. That will knock the price of this 30 serving tub down to £31.49, right?
And it comes in at just £1.05 per go. It's singing and it's dancing for sure. And it actually comes out on our consistent price and scale, where a 5 out of 10 is an average price point. This one rolls in at an 8 out of 10. It's a lot more affordable than your average pre-workout. So yes, you don't have to be a king to get this one.
We love that. So it might slay kings, but it doesn't slay your bank account. All right, let's get into this label then. So 1 scoop, 15 grams, and first up is L-citrulline at 6 grams.
Yeah, respectable dosage for sure. We're talking nitric oxide, we're talking vascularity, vasodilation, nutrient delivery to the muscle cell, ultimately the pump in the gym.
Lovely. Beta-alanine, 3.2 grams.
Good, that's the clinical dose, the typical amount. Obviously it's going to give us that beta tingle, the paraphesia, itchy, almost like an allergic feeling reaction as the pre kicks in. We love it for that sense of urgency. And of course, once you've saturated the body in it with over a period of time, it's going to help with endurance.
Nice. L-tyrosine at 1 gram.
Yeah, a good dose again. Amino acid, responsible for cognition, clarity and focus.
Then we got citicoline at 500 milligrams.
Yeah, it's going to work with the L-tyrosine. And of course, a choline source, going to wake up the brain, get the brains firing, get you in the zone for training.
Nice. Then we got caffeine anhydrous at 400 milligrams.
Yeah, it's an upper end caffeine dosage here, guys. 4 cups worth of coffee. Of course, probably a couple of energy drinks here, really. Energy and stimulation in training.
Not to be sniffed at. Then we got lion's mane mushroom at 350 milligrams.
Yeah, respectable dose. We've seen it higher, but again, it hasn't actually taken away from the flavour point, which lion's mane struggles to do. It's in there for focus, cognition, nootropic effect.
Nice. Then we got Aurea durensis, 300 milligrams.
Yeah, a nice dose for sure. Dubbed a natural DMHA-like feel because it gives central nervous stimulation, energy, focus and euphoria, and hopefully some mood elevating benefits.
Lovely. And synergising with that, hopefully, we have Juglans Regia whole fruit at 200 milligrams.
Yeah, of course, from the walnut itself. It's in there. It could be in there as DMHA. It could be in there as a synthetic version or the natural version. Of course, they'll come in different power ranges that we'll be able to only explain in the effects segment. But again, it's going to work like the Aurea durensis, hopefully, and give us more focus, highness, energy, euphoria.
Nice, it really is riding on that ingredient. Then we've got L-theanine at 200 milligrams.
Yeah, some people say this is the blanket to the stimulants to kind of hone in, calm you down, get you focused on the training with no jitters or nasty crashes. Some don't like it because it actually dulls the energy a little bit too much. We'll only be able to tell that in the effects segment.
Indeed. Then we've got pink Himalayan salt, 75 milligrams.
Yeah, very low dose. In fact, not many would put that on the label at this point. But it's in there. Muscular contraction, hyperhydration benefits, slight pumps. Truth be told, you probably won't feel it.
The King's obviously running low on salt. He's not being too generous with it, is he?
He's not been out in his ships to that sea anymore.
Then we do wrap off with some black pepper extract at 5 milligrams.
Yeah, as noted, of course, in the mixability segment. Here, for digestion aid, you know, an important component of any pre-workout is you've only got a 30-minute window approximately to get it digested, absorbed, and utilised for your training session at hand. What do we think?
Looks like it's a well-rounded label. It's ticking all the boxes we like, but I think, as we mentioned earlier, it's really riding on that Juglans, eh?
Yeah, is that going to be in the treasure trove? Let's find out.
It is, of course, time for the main segment of any review. It's the effects of this one, Kingslayer by Pure Labs. Did it go to battle? Well, the answer is yes, but we're of course going to be breaking it down into the usual components, starting us off at the beginning of that journey through the lands. Where were we?
Beta-alanine is the first thing that journeys through this land, and we both agreed that it kicked into a medium degree. Wasn't weak, didn't blow our heads off.
What came in after that was an apparent, I would actually say, smooth wave of energy, but on the upper end of energy, wouldn't you?
Definitely. Considering it is one wallop of 400 milligrams of caffeine, it does come in very smooth. But I'd say 30 minutes and you're pretty much ready to get cracking.
Yeah. And now let's break the pre-workout down into elements that we look for. Elements of the land, right? Pumps, focus, and energy. You might agree the weakest element and probably expected was the pumps. But do not get me wrong, they were still good. Juicy pumps to a respectable level.
Yeah, it's relying obviously primarily on that L-citrulline, and it gets the job done, but we also agree that the pumps are nice, not just because of the pump ingredients, but because of the focus.
Yeah, you do get a dialed in mind-muscle connection, and that makes it feel like it's all on the muscle that you're training. It's quite a productive pre-workout from that stance. The focus is good. It's leaning itself into the stim junkie realm, right? Mm-hmm. It's not a daily pre-workout, but I wouldn't necessarily also class it as a stim junkie. It's bridging the gap. It's bridging that divide between the two areas. I'd say 2-3 times a week usage. The Juglans Regia, that's the question, that's the element we're looking at. It's the thing that really would have stood this pre-workout out perhaps if it hadn't been in there. What did you think of it?
Our honest opinion on the Juglans is that it's not a cover-up for synthetic DMHA, but it is a genuinely good source of Juglans Regia. And why do we think that, Aaron?
Yeah, there's a nice euphoric head buzz, right? And it feels nice. It comes with a level of mood elevation. You know, we was laughing, joking, singing, dancing, repping in the gym. And it comes together well. In fact, so much so that I used it nicely during training. After training, when you're settling back down into normal life, the head buzz is there. It feels like the brain has really been awoken. That's where I'm saying it leans itself into the stim junkie realm. There's definitely something more than just caffeine here. Definitely so.
100%. And what we like about it is that it's got a healthy element to it. So a lot of these stim junkie ones, you do get that uplifted off your head feeling, but it does come with a slew of negatives. Whereas this one, we feel like we're dipping our toes into that perhaps illicit realm, getting some of those benefits, but we're not having to take on the chin, sleepless nights, appetite suppression, jitters, you know, all the nasties.
100% worth it. Very rare to get an 8 out of 10 pre-workout these days on the pricing scale. At just £1.05 a go. For the effects you are getting, I would say personally it's a no-brainer to get your hands on it, because it's delivering everything we want from a pre-workout at a really good price.
Yeah, this King is not rinsing these civilians for their taxes. There's not a bad thing to say about it, really.
No, it worked with you, and it worked with training. A sense of endurance was also apparent. You know, we got to the end of training, we trained harder than normal with this pre-workout, and it's one of those, we got to the end of training, we was like, do you want to do one or two more things? No, we're going to have to cut it, even though the pre-workout wanted us to do it.
Yeah, so we'd recommend this to people that are on a budget and want to step their toes into the Stim Junkie realm, but not so much so that they risk ruining their lives. And it's a no-brainer. It's going to fall into the buy it category, simply because for that price point, the effects are outstanding.
They really are.
We were both pleasantly surprised by it, weren't we, ultimately?
We were. If that sounds right to you, then of course, do check it on out. We appreciate you watching along at home for, of course, yet again, another review. Bros, honest pre-workout review. As always,
Stay
stimmed and slay the beast inside of you.